At Horizon really focused on business outcomes. We think that's the way media will be transacted in the future. And it really starts with, answering the question, which part of my media is working, what's working best, and how can I optimize our schedules to maximize what our clients' business outcomes can be. And it's really the kind of evolution of advanced TV. We started by getting beyond demos and going towards advanced targets, and index buying, where a higher index was thought to be better than a lower index, obviously. And that was great in theory, but we needed to prove it worked. So agencies and networks and third-party vendors have been proving out attribution over time. That's really an expanding, kind of growing space. Proving that this higher index that our schedule resulted in worked better than the demo buy. And now that we have laid the groundwork for attribution, now it's time to start asking our media partners to guarantee those results and not just show us through a study that this higher indexing buy worked, but actually put the money where their mouth is, so to speak, and guarantee those results. That if we give them some ability to optimize a schedule, to use all of their properties under their holding company umbrella and network group to their advantage and to our clients' advantage, they can get better results for us. So we'll give them flexibility in exchange for a guarantee of better business results for our clients. So we really feel like that's it's time for media partners to guarantee those results and not just the eyeballs that really what media has been based on to date.
So just to go a little bit more granular, what do you expect? What kind of granularity on outcomes do you expect the media partners to provide?
That is really case by case, client by client. So we start typically with what is the KPI that is important to the client's business. Sometimes that's a website visit. Sometimes it's a actual business transaction on a website. It could be store visits. Those are the easier ones to measure, but we start there. And then from that point, we try to figure out how a network can contribute to that result and drive whatever that KPI is. Again, website visits, for example, and then through attribution studies, measure the effectiveness of a network. So it really is client by client. It's hard to say. You can't really blanket it the way you can just say, Nielsen demo guarantee, because it really depends client by client what their needs are, the information they're willing to share back to a network, and also the willingness of a network to guarantee a certain result.
This notion of outcome business, to what degree was it part of the upfront this year in terms of the conversations, and how do you expect it to materialize in your conversations in 2020?
Yeah, so business outcome guarantees are really a big part of our conversations in this past upfront, as it is, a kind of a driving force for the agency moving forward. So we definitely included it in our upfront conversations, but it's really and we have with several major network groups set up the framework for business outcome deals. It's a longer conversation, though. It's not just a 1 year upfront, get it in place and run it conversation. These are very complex, difficult challenges that we're trying to solve for. So it takes time. So what we've done is really lay the framework for phase one, which is really more about monitoring and understanding a network's contribution to our business and how, when they optimize the assets in their portfolio to drive a better business result, they can understand the impact of that. And then year two is a guarantee of that result or an improvement on that result. So year one is monitoring, attribution, understanding how, when you pull different levers, you get different results or better results, hopefully. Then year two or phase two would convert more to where networks vendors are guaranteeing those results. So it's really a really fairly long road intentionally, because it is not a quick solution space. It's something that takes a long time and is challenging to to get up and running and get running properly, because we want to make sure we're doing it right. But we do feel it's time that networks start to not only guarantee us the eyeballs we're getting, but really guarantee us that we're reaching the right eyeballs and driving business results.
We're going to Xandr, the Relevance conference in Santa Barbara next week, and I wanted to get your point of view on what your needs are from these big tech platforms like Xandr. As a buyer, what's important to you?
So, what the platforms and some of these, really tech-based companies provide is a different and sometimes unique data source. So while we don't want to rely on any single third-party or vendor data source, participating with them and understanding what the DirecTV plus AT&T, mobile data and device graph and household information, what that data can bring to our clients is what's important. And that's different for the most part from broadcasters who are typically reliant on, not exclusively, but typically reliant on more third-party information or first-party information that we might be bringing to the table. So it is potentially very valuable to take our client's first-party data or Horizon's first-party data, marry it with, the Xandr set-top box information, or any of the other providers, and identify in those households, where our target resides and how to reach them. So, and it's all done to the benefit of, in the TV ecosystem, is there's the comfort of premium content, long-form premium content. So unlike sometimes in the digital world where you don't necessarily know where you're running or what kind of content you're running in or how valuable the content is that you're running in, you're in at least this protected environment of 100 plus TV channels, which is a nice luxury on the content side of this, because there's always two parts of these conversations. There's the data side and reaching the audience, finding the audience and reaching the audience, and then the content side. What kind of content are we reaching them in? We know certain content works better than others, and we know long-form TV content is an effective way to deliver a 30 or 15-second ad message. So it kind of marries the best of both worlds when it works well. So I think that's certainly the advantage we look to for some of the tech and data owners who also have the ability to sell through content as well.